Don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it. Don't play with it.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Shira, and yes, we are back with another video, y'all. So guys, as you guys can already see by the thumbnail and title, you already know what today is going to be about. You already know what video this is. So look, y'all, today is going to be part 2, episode 2 of the Rebranding Me series, y'all. We're going to be learning how to rebrand ourselves all month long. I am super excited about this series because part 1, episode 1, that was really good, y'all. I love y'all comments. I love the engagement. I love the dreams and stuff that was shared in the comments. And yeah, we're going to get straight into it because today's episode is going to be a good one, so keep on watching. So y'all, for today's episode, we're basically going to dive deep into rebranding our lifestyle, rebranding those habits, those routines that we kind of have in order to meet the brand new person that we want to become. So like whatever routine that we're doing that's not really working, we're going to learn a few tips or a few gems. You already know I'm gonna drop them gems. We're going to learn a few tips on how to kind of adjust our routine so that we can be better people. So y'all, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time I post another video just like this one, y'all. So we're going to jump straight into it, y'all. Let's go. Here's episode 2. So y'all, point number 1, first we have to do what? We have to take notice of all of our routines that we know that are not working. The things that are working, the things that are not working. We have to keep those things in consideration. We have to think about what exactly is working for us and what's not. When we think about like the brand new person that we want to become, we have to figure out what exact routine is kind of, meant for that person. Like the things that we're doing now, we see it's not really working. Should we be continuing to do it? No, we got to adjust those things, right? That's what we got to do. I know for me, like at the top of the year, I had did like a whole list of like routines and like different things that I do on a daily that I know is not working for me. And back in January, I started like little by little. Of course, it's not going to be a wham bam type thing. Like it's not going to happen right away, y'all. But just like take those small steps in order to change those routines. Like if we see something that's not working, like little stuff like, for example, I'll give y'all a good example. Let's say if you're waking up, let's say about 10 o'clock, if you decide to wake up at 10, if you see that's not really good for you, it's not really putting you in that good mood for the morning, because 10 o'clock is kind of like a late start to the morning. But if that's what you were doing before, change it. Start waking up maybe 9:30, and then maybe 9, and then maybe 8:30. Like making those small steps in order to reach that goal of like having a good, strong start of the day. That's what we need, y'all. We need to have those small steps, because if you jump straight into, let's say if you started waking up at 10 o'clock, and then if you start waking up at 8, it might not last as long, y'all. It might not last as long, because trust me, I did that myself. I'm talking through experience, y'all. I've done that before, because at one point I was waking up, let's say like 10 o'clock, and then I was trying to get my day started, get dressed, and then it wasn't really giving me like the oomph I needed to start my day. And then mind you, right now I'm working from home, so it was convenient to kind of have like a late start to my day. But when I was working like in person, like at the school I was working at, right, I was waking up super early. So just like figure out what routine works for you and readjust that, because we don't want to be lazy and we don't want to have like a slow kind of start to our morning. Mind you, I'm not saying I'm a morning person, because some of us, it take us a minute to kind of come out of that little slumber type mindset to kind of get our day started. But do what you have to do. Do what you have to do to be better, and do what you have to do to get that strong start of the day going. So that's really good, y'all. That's really good. Point number 2, we have to do what? Prioritize self-discipline. We have to be strong in our changes. We can't say, oh, I'm gonna eat better, I'm gonna start working out more, because trust me, I've said that too many times, y'all. I'm telling y'all what I know. This is through experience. We can't just constantly say, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. We actually have to do it, y'all. We gotta do it. Even if it's like, I know, like for me, something I really love, and I know I'm not supposed to have like a lot of, it's like ice cream, like frozen treats. I love it. I love like a lot of carbs and stuff. So like things that are not good, there's a lot of substitutes for these things, and it's better to indulge in those things than to indulge in the things that we know is not good for us. If I know that there's something that's not really good for me, why would I continue to keep doing it over and over again? Like I can't say I want to start eating better, I want to start moving my body more, but I'm not trying to go to the gym. Here it is, I have a gym right here in my complex. So it's like we have to take those steps. Instead of just talking about it, we gotta be about it, and we actually have to be strong in that stance. Like if we're going to make that stance and make that declaration of, okay, this day, this time, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to the gym, work my body out, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. On Sunday, I'm going to do my meal prep for the week, I'm going to do da 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 da. We plan it out If you have to write it out, if you have to verbally do it, if you have to like put it on your iPad, whatever, do it and stand on it. I think that's where I kind of like make the kind of mistake, because sometimes I'm really strong with my stance, and then other times it's like, listen, I want me an ice cream cone. I want like a burger right now. Like I want, like, we don't, I know I'm not the only one. Y'all put in the comments what's your favorite stuff to eat, because I know I'm not the only one, okay? Because I know we can do salads all day long, all week long, all month long, but you're gonna want to have a little cheat day. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's better to eat healthy. And then on top of that, it's plenty of other options that you can do that will still satisfy their hunger, still satisfy that like urge of like sweetness without, adding the extra calories and stuff like that. So when we, for this point right here, we're talking about prioritizing, the self-discipline. We got to do that. We can't just say we want to start something or we want to stop something. Let's say if it's a bad habit that we want to stop, whether if it's smoking, drinking excessively, whatever it is, like things that we know is not good for our natural bodies. In order to be the best version of ourselves that we can be, because this month we're talking about rebranding, right? In order to meet that best person, we have to be disciplined. We have to make sure that whatever we set for ourselves, like whatever goals, whatever things that we want to like stay disciplined in, we have to stay in that and stand on it, and don't try to change that up. Don't try to like forget about it, like, oh, I didn't forgot I set that goal for myself. Like, no, we're not making no excuses. If you said you're going to try like maybe winning yourself off of certain things that you know is not good for you, then do that, because you just might be good at it. You just might actually, reach that goal if you keep going. You're going to reach that goal if you keep going. But if you stop and make constant excuses for it, you're not going to ever reach that goal, right? So we have to stay strong in that stance. Okay, y'all, here's a really good one, y'all. We have to do what? Curate a positive environment. So this is basically saying that whenever we want to change our mindset and change like those routines, like the habits that we had once before, we have to change what's around us. Like, here's a perfect example. If I want to create a routine like in the morning of like rather if it's skincare, okay, let's do that. Skincare stuff. My environment, it would be what? Skincare products. It would be like a clean start to my day, so I don't have to, hurry up and clean up everything before I start my skincare routine. Like, no, make sure everything is kind of like aligned around you so that we can have like a smooth sailing kind of morning. So whatever you're trying to adjust, make sure that the environment is, is also adjusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say if we want to, like, if you're a heavy smoker, drinker, if you do stuff like that constantly, changing your environment would be what? Maybe changing the people that you're around. Maybe stop going to the functions that you used to go to, because that's where those things are going to be happening at. If you're trying to really readjust your life, you wouldn't be hanging around certain people, you wouldn't be doing certain things if you're trying to really adjust. And again, it's not going to happen quickly, but when we take those small steps, it definitely do add up. So like readjusting our environment is basically, when we're changing, we're making sure that our environment is changing also. And if I want to be better, I want to make sure that I'm no longer hanging around people or doing the same things or being in the same places that's going to put me in that same old mindset. We don't want to be in that same old mindset. We want to be in the new. We want to move on to the now. And also, we want to get to that later point. We want to get to that future point of ourselves and of our lives, right? We want to make sure that when we're changing, our environment is also adjusting. Sometimes don't get me wrong, it may be hard, because you're gonna want to be around like friends, family, and like people who you love. They also have that same like stagnant mindset that you once had, and they really don't want to grow. They don't want to change, and they don't want to become their best selves. Sometimes it may hurt. Don't get me wrong, it may hurt, but you have to do what you have to do in order to make sure that you are changing. And if that means maybe like, you can love them, but love them from a distance, because me encouraging your behaviors or me being around you, knowing that I'm trying to change, that's not putting a positive spin on what I'm trying to do for my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm trying to change, why would I continually be around you knowing that you're still stagnant and you're comfortable? There's the word I was looking for. You're comfortable in your stagnation. That is never good. That is never good. We should never be comfortable with being who we are, refusing to change, refusing to grow. That's never good, y'all. And that is like really a bad place to be in. And that's not really good for your mental, because I think maybe like 1 week this month. Yeah, 1 week this month, we're definitely going to dive deep into like the mental state, because that definitely plays a huge part in your elevation process, right? Rebranding yourself and changing yourself for the better to meet the better person of yourself, the better version of yourself. Your mental really plays a huge part in that process, y'all. Everything starts in the mind. When you decide in your mind that you want to change these little small habits that you're doing, these little routines that is not beneficial to the person you want to become, when you make that up in your mind that you're going to change for the better, that's when you have the drive to actually do that. Because you have to actually think about, okay, if I actually do this, what if it works out? Of course, we're going to think about like, what if it don't work out? Like, yeah, I say I want to change, but what if it end up not working out for me? But that's the negative though. We want to get that negative thinking out of our mind, and we want to think positively. We can't just count ourselves out. Like, hold up, what if this actually work out? Like, what if I say in my mind, okay, I want to lose weight, I want to get back in the gym, I want to start doing what I have to do for my physical, for my mental, emotional, all that good stuff. And then what if it actually works out? Like maybe a few months from now, whatever, I'm actually in a better mental space, emotional space. I'm looking physically better than what I did a few months ago. Like, things can actually happen. But it starts where? In the mind. You actually have to believe it in your mind and your heart that it actually is going to happen, because it will happen. And y'all, here's another really good point right here I want to definitely bring out, because this is really important, y'all. So let's go. Here's tip number 4. Invest in yourself. Take courses, read books, and develop skills that match your future self. This is so good because, listen, it is so good because I know for me, recently I've been looking up like a lot of like self-help books and like self-development books, and like issues that I know that I have, like finding books that will kind of educate me in those areas, like financial freedom kind of book, a self-love, self-care kind of book, like different stuff I want to grow up in. I started like researching books and like different articles, like stuff like that will kind of encourage my spirit, kind of like uplift me and like give me that drive to like, okay, like Shira, you can really save your money, like don't just count yourself out, like different stuff like that. And also give me the knowledge that I never knew I needed, you know what I'm saying? So you definitely have to do that. If you're like a person that loves to do like those free courses for like a skill or like a hobby, people actually have information out there for you, but we have to actually, invest in ourselves. When we see that we want to learn something new, do that, because that's also what changing your environment, and that's also making sure that your routine, like your routines that you normally do every day, is going to change, because you're actually pushing yourself out there to invest in yourself and to also, join courses that will actually help you. Because what's a course I want to think about doing? Well, first of all, y'all, I had seen somebody was doing like a wig making kind of course, but it was like the girl was charging a lot of money. But listen, if you really want to do that, don't. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a little a gem on top of a gem. Okay, if you see like courses, because you do have people that will false advertise. I'm gonna say this. Let me hold your hand when I say this, girl. You do have people that will false advertise and make it seem like, when you buy like these courses and when you get in these ebooks, you do have people out here that are scamming you, that is just taking your money. They're not really giving you the information that's worth that dollar. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be very careful who you trust as far as that, because you don't want to just give your money up. Like, that's crazy, right? That's crazy. I know, like when I was on Instagram, like I've seen a few courses like out of nowhere, like just on my my page, like my timeline type thing. Like I was just on there and I seen a lot of people doing like courses for like wig making. Some girl was doing like a lash thing. It was somebody doing like a makeup course, and that's really good because it's a lot of young women that want to really get into like the beauty field, which is amazing. And then you have someone that's doing like a baking type of thing, like if you want to get into the culinary arts and like the pastry type stuff, that's amazing. But you also have to be careful of the people that will just be, advertising that like, yeah, I have a course going on, da da da, but then they take your money and then they're not giving you the information that you need. So be careful. I definitely want to say that, because it's really good to invest in yourself and like, find courses that is tailored towards like your goal, as far as like whatever hobby or whatever you want to get into. It's good that there's a course out there for that, but be very careful. But yeah, like definitely invest in yourself. Like whatever you want to do that. Whatever you want to do, find a course, find an online class, find, some self-help books. Amazon has plenty of them. Go to like Barnes and Nobles, like, your local library. Like just don't be afraid to kind of research what you want to do and like the sources that'll kind of help you in that area, because it's definitely out there. You just have to go out there and look for it. That's all. So yeah, definitely invest in yourself and don't be afraid to ask for help if you don't know like where to start as far as finding like a course to kind of, get you on that path, don't be afraid to ask for help, because you definitely want to invest in yourself as far as like your knowledge is concerned in order to meet that new person, whatever job she may have or whatever hobbies she may be into, or he may be into. Listen, you have to do that work, and you have to not be afraid to put yourself out there and to invest your money. It's going to cost money to make money, okay? It's going to cost money to make money. So be wise, be very wise, and also don't be afraid to just push yourself out there, because you just never know what good may come out of that based off of your faith. Like, okay, here's $200 for this course. $200 is kind of a lot right now because I have a lot of stuff to do, but look, I'm going to just give it for this course in trust and belief and in faith that I'm going to get the information I need in order to do this type of skill, this type of hobby, whatever it is. So yeah, definitely invest in yourself for sure. And y'all, here's the last and final tip, y'all. Here's tip number 5. Tip number 5, let's go. Live with intention. This is so good. Live with intention. Y'all, let's think of it this way. Every decision that we make from here on out, it should be tailored towards the person that we want to become. Like we said before, I shouldn't be hanging around the same people, doing the same things, being in the same places that is not adding up to who I want to become later on, right? If I know something is not good for me, if I know this routine is not good for me, or this constant, like, on and on merry-go-round of a life, if I know it's not serving me in a positive way, I shouldn't be doing it. And so like every decision that I make is going to affect who I become later on. Like for example, like let's say if you might have made a mistake in your teen years, and because of that mistake, now your adult years is kind of, adjusted. No, it's not completely over, because you can bounce back from certain things, but just don't even be involved in certain things, because you can avoid it before it even become a disaster in your life. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure that every decision that you make, you're actually thinking about it, and you're actually making sure that you're making wise decisions, because you don't want to just do any old thing for your life, because it's going to matter. It's going to matter. I know too often, like, we kind of like think about like the different decisions that we have made in our past, and like, how can I have done that differently, or what could I have said, or what could I have done in my past to kind of like put me on a different path. But guess what? Everything that you've done, everything that you've said in your past leading up to this moment has brought you to where you are now. So don't just count yourself out thinking that the mistakes that you have made in your past is just like, terrible, and like you can't bounce back from it. Like this is just like, no, like you can actually become who you are destined to become. Like, don't just count yourself out. Like, listen, you still have plenty of enough time to do a whole 360 this month. We're talking about rebranding ourselves, right? So you have time. When we get these gems every single Friday, every single week of this month right here about rebranding ourselves, let's take these gems and run with it. Let's hold it. Let's tattoo it on us. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold it dear to your hearts, because it's going to matter later on. You're going to want to look back at these videos and be like, you know what, Sha was right. Like, I definitely have to readjust my routines. I definitely have to have confidence in myself. I definitely have to watch who I hang around and what I do. I definitely have to invest in my craft. Whatever it is that I want to set my mind to do, I actually have to do it. It's going to cost money to make money. I can't be scared to push myself out there. I can't be scared to ask for help. I can't be scared to, not see something that's no longer serving me. I can't be afraid to walk away. That is a really, let's stop there. Because I think that's where most of us is kind of like, I don't know, because we love people. Well, some people, we love them so much, but we just can't stand the things that they're into, because we used to once be into that as well. But because of our life change, we don't want to offend anybody else. But guess what? You change for a reason. Don't feel like you're offending anyone, or don't feel like you can no longer love them. You can still love them, but from afar. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I decide to make a life change, if I no longer want to do something or be a part of a certain crowd, but then I love people in that crowd, I don't want to just throw them in the trash. Like, no, those are relationships that you've built in your life. So you're going to want to, love them. But guess what? You have to make that stance. Like we said before, once you make a stance, stand 10 toes down on it, y'all, because we cannot compromise. That's a really good word. We cannot compromise how we feel, what our life switch is, what our life change is, what are the goals that we have, and what we're going to set now moving forward. We can't compromise all this good stuff that we have going on in order to entertain old conversations, entertain people that we know are not good for us and is not serving the better us. We have to make sure that we can love those people, but from afar, and we can no longer give energy. That's what I was looking for. Give energy and feed a source that we know is no longer giving us the positive charge that we need. That is good. Okay, Sean? Okay, so we have to make sure, y'all, that we are being charged with the positive source and not the negative source. And while we're, because this episode is talking about, readjusting those routines and those habits that we had, those old mindset, the old mindset that we used to have, to kind of change that for the better. We have to make sure that we actually change that mindset. We actually change those habits because we want to be the better version of ourselves, y'all. We want to meet that person. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys learned so much good information from this episode. Don't forget, I'm going to be dropping episodes just like this one, talking about rebranding ourselves, talking about elevating and readjusting what we are doing now in order to be that new person that we want to become, y'all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment and subscribe to my channel, you guys. Put on that post notification bell so that way you are notified every time your girl posts another video just like this one, y'all. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for loving on me as I love on y'all. Thank y'all so much for y'all comments and y'all love and y'all support. I love it so much. Y'all make my heart melt every time I see the comments, y'all. Y'all make my heart melt. Okay, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, y'all. I love you guys so much, and thank you guys for viewing this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.
I ain't got a clue, bruh. So what can I say to you?